Hi, guys. Fernandes Lembo on the grid. You know, John,
Yeah.
I'd like to have one game, the past week where games were played without interruption. Once again, we'll just recap.
Right.
I was at the Booker-Port Charlotte game. The rain started coming down sideways, puddles on the field. I'm thinking, no way they play this game.
Right.
The cell moved through the area. For the next 45 minutes, we had all the Booker staff, all the Port Charlotte staff walking on the field. Can we play? Should we play? Booker didn't want to play because they had a game Monday. Port Charlotte wanted to play because they need games for the playoffs. Yeah. Game ended up being played. Booker got wiped out. I think you had affected by rain too.
No, I wasn't. I was up at Steinbrenner, Manatee Steinbrenner, and it was beautiful. Beautiful weather. I was fortunate, but I was looking at my phone, seeing all the problems that were going on down here.
Right.
Well, we have 2 football nights this week, so maybe we'll get lucky. Thursday and Friday, maybe at least one of those nights, uninterrupted, no weather.
How is this potentially throwing a big monkey wrench into playoff picture going forward? Enough games, teams.
Well, it's huge. I mean, for example, I have the story, Herald-Tribune.com. It'll be in the paper tomorrow. Braden River.
Right.
They play Venice on Thursday. Huge game.
Right.
They haven't played a full game, since August 24th. That's over a month away. They played that half against Clearwater.
Right.
They lost 2 games to Irma, against Palmetto, which will be made up, against Manatee, which they don't know just yet. They played a half against Clearwater. So, yeah, and again, I talked to one of the kids, Brendan Bengtson, the lineman. He's like, yeah, we all stayed in shape, we worked out and stuff like that, but still, you haven't played a game yet. So it's going to be interesting. Like I said, the football going forward might not be the crispest we've seen, but hey, maybe the playoffs will be great because these kids will be well rested.
Yeah, because up to now, I've commented, I think Dennis Maffezoli has commented twice, and has commented the football, the quality has not been good.
Well, what I saw, Manatee looked good against Steinbrenner.
Right.
Again, I don't know how good Steinbrenner is, but maybe Manatee needed that time to sort some things out. Brand new coach, brand new staff. Coach Akir wasn't here in the spring. Maybe the time off benefited them a little bit. But yeah, I mean, it's tough until we start playing regularly each week. It's going to be rough.
Yeah, you mentioned the teams that were out of shape. I guess some teams that stayed in shape looked good.
Right.
Other teams maybe didn't do a lot. And I think I read in some call, was it Bizuns? Well, who said that his players were sort of sucking air early on? Who said that?
I think in Dennis's column he mentioned about conditioning. Yeah, it's tough. I mean, they're away from the game. Manatee County, they didn't practice for 11 straight days. The Thursday, Friday before Irma, then the whole week after. And, and like he said, I mean, the coach can't be there with all of his kids. Hey, are you doing your push-ups? You got to hope the kids kind of condition themselves. And it might take some time for the kids who didn't do a lot of stuff in that break to get back into football shape.
Again, we have multiple games, multiple nights. We mentioned Friday, Thursday, and also a Saturday game.
Oh, yeah.
Let's just go over the slate.
3 days of football.
Right. So if you can't catch one night, there's another stadium
try and do all 3.
Which we're trying to cover all the counties here in different nights, make it difficult for you. Hey, you're going to be at... let's look at the list here. Where are you going to be tomorrow night? You're going to be Palmetto at Sarasota.
Yes, I will be.
That game
I've not seen Sarasota play. I know they got hit pretty hard by Bainbridge, but again, they played on Monday.
Right.
So who knows? I mean, that's kind of a tough game to kind of
district game though. A lot of district matchups.
It's a district game. Yeah. Palmetto. I saw them against Manatee. They looked good. They won that game. They beat Lake Gibson last week at Lake Gibson. Lake Gibson, the 6A state finalist from last year, so a good win for the Tigers there on the road. I think Palmetto's a favorite in that game. And again, it's the first week of district, so you want to. We've said it before. Even this new system, district games still rule. In fact, even more so now, because if you finish second, you're not guaranteed anything. So you really want to win your district. So I like Palmetto in that game, but I think Sarasota can give them a game. I'm not going to base a lot on the Bainbridge game. Like I said, that was a weird situation.
Right, driving up there.
Short week, yeah. I mean, that's a tough game to kind of gauge things on.
I'll be at Bayshore Booker. We just mentioned Booker. Booker's been outscored 80-6 their last 2 games. They had a game Friday, Port Charlotte, Monday, Wauchula district game. Another one Thursday against Bayshore.
That's tough.
Something's got to give. 0-4 against 0-2, right?
Right, and for Booker, what is it? Their third game, a little more than a week.
Right.
That's a lot of football. I'm sorry, that's a lot. That might be too much football.
That's a little too much football, and I mean, is it leading to injuries, perhaps, or
it may? Who knows? And like we said, I mean, they got to get these games in, so you might see them play in some really bad weather, because with the exception of lightning, they got to really get these games in and play these games. It can't be, hey, it's raining too hard, we can't play. It's you've lost, as Coach Marino said a couple weeks ago, you've lost your margin of error for games you can't play, and now it's district season, so. Yeah, you hope it doesn't lead to injury. That's the last thing you want to see. Anyone get hurt.
Yeah, they're just slotting games whenever they can get them in there.
Right, and these district games, like I said, they got to be played. And so,
Speaking about a huge game, I mean, we looked at this a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
Venice at Braden River.
Yeah.
Braden River's coming off a little bit of a downtime. I mean, Venice had a game
month-long
against
bye.
Dunbar
Right.
last week. They
Yeah.
destroyed them. But just break
or
down.
Dunbar, for those of us not from
Dunbar.
New England.
But break down this game. Venice has won, obviously, 2 games last year,
Right.
including the playoff game.
Yeah.
Can you break it down a
Well,
little bit? Good matchup.
I think it's a big matchup. I still say I think Venice is the best team in this area.
Right.
Until someone knocks them off, I'm going to pick Venice. I think Braden River will give them a good game. Offensively, they're both really, really good. This could be a shootout kind of deal like we saw last season, but I still like Venice. I still think they're the better team, but if Braden River were to win this game, I wouldn't be floored. It wouldn't be a huge upset.
Right.
I just think Venice right now is a little better than anyone else in this area.
With the season of a lot of not mouth-watering matchups, this is definitely one of them. You got Riverview, maybe the area's second or third best team.
Oh, yeah.
At Palm Harbor University.
Yeah. That's a big one. It's a district game. I mean, Palm Harbor beat them last year.
Right, exactly.
I was at that game, and the special teams in Palm Harbor had like 3 or 4 onside kicks that they recovered. And Todd Johnson, who was the head coach back then of Riverview, was upset because he was the special teams coach, and he took that on his own. He's like, blame me for that. So I'm sure the Riverview kids remember that. I mean, it almost cost them a district title. They went on that great run. They won. But yeah, I mean, Riverview's playing great football. They beat Alonzo pretty bad last week. They're doing what they got to do. Right. I think the Manatee Riverview game in a couple of weeks that will decide that district. So I think those are the 2 best teams in that district.
And I want to see Manatee really get their game up to speed. With a new head coach, old coaching staff. They
look great. Keon Ford up at the quarterback spot, 42-7 over Steinbrenner. He was outstanding. They looked really good. And look, I mean, no one's making excuses for anybody, but it's tough when you get in there and there's no spring football. And everyone else played spring football, and Coach Keir didn't see that. So, but Keon Fordham looked great as a quarterback. What I was impressed with was his arm. I mean, obviously he's a track star, so we know he can run. He was a running back last year. He throws the ball pretty well. A lot of these guys who are run-first quarterbacks, they only kind of throw if they have to. But he, for a couple of passes, he's got some power in that arm. He's going to be a tough out for teams coming up. That should be interesting with him as a quarterback.
You talk about quarterback. One of the things I've noticed about high school football over the years is how you could get away with not having a quarterback, 15, 20 years ago who could really throw the ball down the field.
Yeah.
The teams I've seen up till now, they don't have a quarterback, and they're really struggling moving the football in today's game.
Well, I don't think you need a quarterback that necessarily has like a Drew Brees kind of arm. You need a quarterback to at least be a threat.
You need to, need to not have 8, 9 guys playing up on the line of scrimmage.
You need to sustain an offense. You can't be going 3 and out and drain your defense's battery by the second quarter. So, yeah, you do need someone to kind of manage the game. I know that's a cliche, but kind of manage the game, keep your offense in the field, sustain drives. If you don't have that, you're in a lot of trouble.
I mean, the couple of teams we've talked about who got new quarterbacks and had to rely on position plays to play the position, kind of struggling a little bit.
Yep.
Talking about locks of the week.
Yeah.
I know you're ahead of me because I made that pick on Manatee early against Palmetto. But what's your lock of the week this week?
I like Southeast host DeSoto County. I like Southeast. I like the Seminoles.
Right. Listen, I lost on the Palmetto Manatee game because I chose Manatee. Yes. I got drilled.
Yes.
But now I'm going back. Palmetto is my lock of the week against Sarasota. Again, Sarasota, we just talked about their matchup at Bainbridge. Maybe not representative of what might happen, but I'm going with Dave Marino's team in this game.
Good pick. Yeah, they're a good football team.
Right.
They do some things well. They play. They're pretty aggressive. So not a bad lock of the week.
Anything else? I know you had a story inside on Tuesday about
Riverview Rams boys going for their 4th straight state swimming championship.
Right.
Obviously a lot of those guys from for the Sharks. They have national championship dreams and realistic Olympic aspirations, but those kids still want to win a state title. I mean, the girls won 4 straight for the Rams a few years back. The boys want to do it now too.
Anything else to look forward to? Hopefully, besides weeks of uninterrupted football.
In a few weeks, district volleyball starts. All these district sports start. Golf and everything. Venice at the Battle of the Beach. I think they clinched #1 seed in their district. Braden and Christian playing really well. I think they're 13-4, undefeated in district for volleyball. So volleyball looking pretty good. And other sports will get revved up with all area and not all area, but district season starting soon.
Because I'm a shameless touter. You touted one of your stories. I have one tomorrow, nothing to do with preps, but it's on the rowing that's going over at Nathan Benison Park. Para rowers, people who are not function from the waist down or their shoulders.
Oh, okay.
So we have that story coming out tomorrow.
That should be interesting.
A lot of stuff. Anything? Any last words?
No, let's hope for a dry next few days.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for.
No lightning.
On that note, except on our show.
Yes.
Lightning on our show.
Yes.
So for John Lemple, I'm Doug Fernandez. We'll see you next week on The Grid.
We hope.
We hope. Hope we're not canceled.